Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning, everyone. This is the Vermont House Committee on Commerce and Economic Development. It is Thursday, April 24th, 2025 at 9 in the morning. So we're going to begin our day looking at the amendment to H 398 that came back from the Senate. It's on notice today, so it'll be up for action tomorrow. We can get ahead of the curve now and take care of it. And I know that was your bill.
That was.
You'll be putting this out tomorrow. So we have our legislative counsel, Cameron Wood, with us. So, good morning, Cameron. Thank you for joining us. We only have you for a short period of time. Good morning.
For the record, Cameron Wood, Office of Legislative Counsel. I am perplexed by something I just noticed, but that's okay. All right, I'm going to share my screen. As you all recall, 398, this is, a large bill amending the VEDA chapter and in Title 10. Most of it is kind of technical or small changes, but there were some kind of more significant policy changes. If you all recall, you're taking the Vermont Sustainable Jobs Strategy, putting that into statute, and then you're also creating this disaster revolving fund with $2 million from ACCD to provide funds for businesses or agricultural enterprises in the event there's a disaster event that happens in the state. So the Senate has reviewed, and there is a proposal of amendment that I'm going to walk through with you all this morning. I'm going to share my screen and just walk through the amendment directly. So in the first instance of amendment, it is dealing with a section heading. And if you all recall, there's two sections, one related to state projects and one related to, right after it, state bonds. These are really authority projects. They're not being done in the name of the state. The authority's acting on behalf of the state, but it's not really the state that's acting here. And so one of the changes that you have in the bill, and forgive me, I'm going to switch screens over. This is where I was getting 253. There we go. Sorry, that's where I was confusing myself. At the bottom of page 9 on the bill that you all passed, this is where we're changing it to authority projects instead of state projects. Well, the next section right after that says state bonds. And VEDA kind of noticed right afterwards, after it had passed the House, and informed me as it was over in the Senate, that really should have been a corresponding change with this, because these would be authority bonds, not state bonds. And so that is the first instance of amendment, where we're just striking in that section heading, striking state and adding authority instead. Pretty straightforward. And the second instance of amendment, which is the last one, this is in the Disaster Recovery Loan Fund. Subsequent to the bill passing the House, the Department of Forest Parks and Recs, wanted to make clear that, their businesses were also eligible for the disaster recovery funds as well. I think it was probably implied in the language that came out of the House, but just in order to be explicit, they wanted to include, forest parks businesses, forestry businesses, et cetera. And so that's where we have here on lines kind of 13 and 14, an amendment that says, the authority to provide loans and other forms of financial assistance to businesses, including agriculture and forest product enterprises after disaster. So it's the inclusion of the forest products there. And then in the sub 2, if you all recall, there was the requirement for the authority to consult with the Secretary of Commerce and the Secretary of Agriculture prior to making those funds available. We've added in, I should say the Senate is proposing to add in the Commissioner of Forest Parks and Recs. So it would be a consultation with those 3 individuals before funds could be released. There was a concern that was raised on the Senate floor about, whether this would impact the governor's, authority in declaring disaster emergencies. And so the Senate Finance Committee added this word here on line 18 So the authority consults with these individuals in determining whether funds shall be made available following a non-declared disaster event. And then it still remains that there is no consultation required if there is a declared disaster. So I was clear with the Senate Finance Committee, this doesn't give the authority any authority to declare a disaster. It's simply their ability to issue funds in the event there is some sort of event that impacts businesses in the state. And they do have to consult with these individuals who are part of the administration. So presumably if the governor is not supportive, then those individuals would not be supportive during the consultation. That is the amendment. Happy to answer any questions.
Questions on that?
So just, it's not substantial, it's for clarification, all of the changes, even, I mean, the word authority. That is fixing the law that wasn't, also it wasn't as clear as it should have been.
Yeah, I would say the first instance is just a technical change that was missed, and the second instance is adding the clarification on
And
the.
the commissioner.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Other than that, no, it's not, the amendment is not substantive.
And the Secretary of Commerce and Ag and the Commissioner of Forest and Parks are all comfortable getting together in those times to make that decision. They took testimony on that.
They have not objected. The Senate Finance Committee did not take any direct testimony that I recall from those individuals. But my recollection is the concept of this funds, came from the administration in cooperation with VEDA. And the recommendation of adding the Commissioner of Forest and Parks came from that department, is my understanding. Did not come directly to me that way, but it's my understanding that that's where it came from.
We put in commerce and we put in ag, but the Commissioner of Forest is asked to be included as well.
Thank you, Chair, for correcting me there. Forgot that your committee did that.
I think it's just clarification for the forest industry. I know that they are a business, and all businesses are, this avails all businesses. So. And I did with VEDA on this, testified to Senate Appropriations, and I did speak to the VEDA representative there, where they were comfortable with they're comfortable with the changes. Any other questions? Ken? Okay. Damon, thank you.
You're welcome.
Talk to you next. Have a nice morning.
I hope you all have a wonderful day. Always a pleasure to be here.
Committee, I think that, we take a straw poll vote on this. So I guess the vote would be to concur with some proposal of the amendment. And so all in favor, raise your hand. Abby, are you on as well? Oops. See if Abby.
Yes, it's Abby. I just couldn't find my unmute button. I'm on the call. Yes. Call me a
Okay.
yes.
Okay, so straw poll vote of 10-0-1 to concur with the Senate proposal of amendment. So tomorrow that'll come up for action, and you can report changes, and we send, hopefully the body will agree, and we'll send it off to the governor.
Very good. We don't need anything.
Thanks, Cameron.
Yes, sir.
This is gonna be live this morning. Okay, so why don't we go off live for a few minutes until gets here, and then we'll go back to start talking.